Well, let's welcome Sid Lowe to the show to reflect on Real Madrid's Champions League success. Sid, I guess you could say nothing new. Real Madrid in the quarterfinals yet again for the Champions League, except it feels totally different this time around. I wonder what the reaction has been like in Madrid, given the sort of season they've been having up until about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Well, I think in a way the reaction has been that it doesn't feel different. The surprise is that it doesn't feel different because, as you say, given the way they've been playing domestically, given the results in La Liga, given the huge gap that Barcelona have at the top of the table, there was a sense that maybe it wouldn't go for them this time in the European Cup. There was a sense as well when they got Paris Saint-Germain that perhaps for the first time in a very, very long time they were going to go into a Champions League game and not be favourites, that there was a chance that they would be knocked out and be knocked out very, very early. But then when they went to Paris and when they won with the authority with which they won, I mean, the first leg was obviously slightly different, but the authority with which they won in Paris is a sense that, OK, here we go then, Real Madrid are to be taken very, very seriously. There's also a kind of a recurring theme here, which is that, bear in mind, until last year when Real Madrid won the League and European Cup double for the first time in 59 years, the previous 8 European Cups that Real Madrid had won had been in seasons when they didn't win the Spanish League title. So in other words, for Real Madrid to have a poor domestic season and yet go on and be the best team in Europe, or at least theoretically the best team in Europe, the winners of the Champions League stroke European Cup, that's not particularly unusual.
Does this change the discourse at the moment on Zinedine Zidane, Sid? Because there have been those questioning his long-term viability at the Bernabeu up until just a few weeks ago. Is that all changed now?
I think it has. I think it has in a number of ways, actually, not just in terms of his long-term viability, because I think there's always been a sense, and Zidane himself has fed this idea a little bit, that Real Madrid is a job that has a very, very high burnout factor, and that managers can quite quickly feel that their time has come, and obviously the club can quite quickly feel that managers' times have come, and they're very quick to pull the trigger. But I think there's another element, which is not just that this has bought Zidane time in that sense. I think that it's bought Zidane authority because, of course, he made changes to the team and it worked. And obviously at Real Madrid, one of the difficulties has often been that the managers don't have full authority when it comes to choosing the team. And the other thing I think it does is it has made people look at Zidane slightly differently, because there's always been a sense that, well, what Zidane does is he makes the players feel happy, he manages the egos, he manages the dressing room, but tactically there's not a huge amount there. That's been one of the accusations levelled at him. One which I think was actually possibly a little bit unfair anyway. But obviously what happened this time was, with the shift in the first leg to a 3-man midfield plus Isco, in other words, an extra body in there behind the 2 forwards, and then the shift in the second leg to a much more orthodox 4-4-2 with 2 wide men with Asensio and Lucas Vázquez behind Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo, with having the nerve and a tactical awareness to leave out Gareth Bale, and for it to work and work so well. I think what that's done is it's won over some of those people who said, well, Zidane was a guy who just kind of put the players out there and made them feel good and looked after them. Now there's people saying, actually, he surprised us tactically as well, and he read this right in a way that, of course, by definition, Unai Emery didn't do.